In the second lesson of the Finance Fundamentals TVM Crash Course series, I show you how to set up your financial calculator. The steps I explain here fall into two categories: one-time only settings, which you do not need to repeat unless you change them deliberately or otherwise, and steps to take before you start each new calculation. In the previous lesson, I introduced the three calculators that will be used throughout this video series. As a reminder, the HP12C and the BA2 Plus, both of which are approved by CFA Institute for exam use, and the HP10bII. The last one is not CFA approved, but it is a lot cheaper and is a good choice for those not on the CFA program track. Here are the calculator setups I will explain in this lesson. Firstly, the periods per year. With the exception of the 12C, most financial calculators are delivered with a factory default setting of 12 for periods per year. This might be a good choice for personal finance situations in which mortgages or car loans are typically set up as pay monthly, compounded monthly contracts. However, the 12 per year assumption is completely unsuitable for the majority of general finance calculations, in which there might also be daily, weekly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual compounding. The recommended approach is to set the periods per year to 1 and to leave it there. Once you have done this, the interest rate per year key can be read as interest rate per period. In addition, N in the TVM section of your calculator is then the number of compounding periods, not the number of years. The setting change for periods per year does not apply to the HP12C, which is ready out of the box for general finance calculations. Next, the number of decimal places in your display. You need to set your calculator to display 4 decimal places. This avoids the clutter of insignificant digits in the display while still providing enough information for most situations in finance. For example, rand or dollar prices are typically quoted to 2 decimal places, bond yields to 3 decimals, and forex rates to 4. This setting does not affect the actual numeric values stored internally by your calculator. In other words, the numbers are not rounded when you change the number of decimal places to display. There is no loss of precision. Thirdly, making sure you are in the right mode, end or begin. For any situation involving periodic cash flows, such as coupon bonds or annuities, you need to confirm the end or begin mode setting of your calculator before performing any TVM calculations. In end mode, the calculator assumes that each cash flow occurs at the end of the compounding period. Conversely, in begin mode, cash flows are assumed to occur at the beginning of each period. An incorrect setting will result in significant errors in your calculation results whenever there are repeating cash flows down the timeline. Most financial calculators are set by default to end mode. If you have instead switched to the begin option, the calculator display shows a status indicator such as BEG or BGN, but this is very small and easy to miss. Perhaps even worse, none of the 3 calculators demonstrated here show anything in the display when you are in end mode, so you need to be very careful. Unless otherwise indicated, all calculations in the Crash Course series are done in end mode. The 4th setting deals with algebraic and chain modes. Before I discuss these settings, note that they do not apply to the vast majority of HP12C users who leave their calculator in reverse Polish notation mode. If you have either the BA2 Plus or the HP10b, try this. 3 plus 4 times 5 equals what? Your calculator result will either be 23 or 35. If this is not what you expected, you need to check the algebraic or chain mode setting of your calculator and change it to your preferred arithmetic approach. In algebraic mode, calculations are done according to the standard rules of arithmetic precedence: first parentheses, then exponents, then multiply, divide, add, and subtract. So 3 plus 4 times 5 equals 3 plus 20, which is 23. In chain mode, calculations are done step by step in the order you enter them. Therefore, 3 plus 4 times 5 equals 7 times 5 equals 35. The final step is to understand exactly how to clear the various registers and memory banks in your calculator. You need to do this before each new calculation, and you especially need to know with complete certainty how to clear your TVM and DCF registers. Often, different key presses are required to clear different parts of the calculator's functionality. The simplest approach is to learn how to clear all registers, but without also doing a factory reset. However, this is possible only with the two Hewlett-Packards. The Texas Instruments device is much more complex, and you have to know exactly what you are doing. Let's move on to a demonstration of the key presses for each of these setups. Starting with the HP12C, changing the periods per year setting from a default of 12 to the correct value of 1 does not apply to the 12C, so no action is required here. To change the number of decimal places to 4, press the orange shift F key and then 4. To change between end and begin modes, press the blue shift G key and then the required mode. Notice that when the calculator is in begin mode, there is a small flag on the display, but nothing is shown when you are in end mode. For algebraic and chain modes, I assume that just about everyone using the 12C will have a preference for RPN mode, and so the issue of algebraic and chain modes becomes irrelevant. To clear the TVM registers, which is to say only the 5 key TVM inputs, press orange shift F and then clear FIN or FIN. To clear all registers, including TVM and the cash flow or DCF functions, and all memory locations, press the orange shift F key and then clear REG. Next, the BA2 Plus, where the key presses get very busy indeed. To set periods per year to 1, press second, P/Y, then 1, then enter, then second, and quit. To set the number of decimal places to 4, second, format, 4, enter, second, and quit. To switch between end and begin modes, start with second, then the begin key, which will confirm your current mode. In this case, BGN shows in the main display, and also notice the tiny BGN flag towards the top right of the display. Then toggle between begin and end modes using second, set. Once you are in the correct setting, which we want to be end mode, use second, quit to exit. You can see that the small BGN flag has now disappeared. For all calculators, the absence of the BGN flag means that you are in end mode. and I always think it is a pity that none of them show the end flag. To switch between algebraic and chain modes, second, Format, up arrow. Then use second, Set to toggle to your preferred format. Once you are done, exit using second, Quit. Unfortunately, there are no display flags to remind you what arithmetic setting is currently active. For clearing operations, you need to be aware that the BA2+ can be complex and confusing until you are well practiced. This is especially critical because it does not take a huge amount of finger trouble to end up with an accidental full factory reset when all you wanted was a surgical clearance of only the target registers or memory locations. For a simple clearing of the current display, I'll enter 15 to demonstrate, then delete this using the clear key at bottom left. To show how to clear all memory registers, I'll first enter 16 into memory 0 so that we can make sure that the clearing operation succeeded. Then press second MEM, which shows the 16 stored at M0. To clear all memory locations, second, clear work, and then exit as usual with second, Quit. Clearing the TVM registers is uncharacteristically easy by the standards of this calculator, needing only 2 key presses. Second, clear TVM. Note that clearing the 5 TVM registers does not also clear the cash flow registers. A separate process is required for each new DCF calculation as follows. Enter the cash flow worksheet using CF, where I enter 17 into CF0 to act as a check. Then to clear the whole DCF worksheet, second, clear work, and then end the process using second, Quit. Finally, for the HP10bII, things get a whole lot easier. To set the correct periods per year, press 1, orange shift, P/YR. Then every time you clear the calculator using orange shift, clear all, you will see confirmation of the correct 1 per year setting flashing briefly onto the display. For the display to show the recommended number of decimal places, press orange shift, DISP, and then 4. To toggle between end and begin modes, orange shift, then BEG/end. As usual, keep an eye on your display for the BEG flag, this time towards the lower left of center. As is the case with the other calculators, the absence of a begin flag means that you are in end mode. To switch between algebraic and chain modes, blue shift, then ALG/chain. The mode that flashes last is the one that you will be in until you make a switch. Finally, to clear all registers including memory, TVM, and DCF functions, press orange shift and clear all.